Today we're going to take a quick look at the new web-based Scribe in action. Scribe has been purpose-built for town and parish councils, so I'm going to give you a basic run-through of the day-to-day way in which your clerk or RFO will use Scribe. From the home page here, you can see that we have a few quick action buttons. I'm going to start by showing you how quick and easy it is to pop a new payment through. Adding a payment is really easy and can simply be done by filling out the various boxes. You can start by selecting the tender, the bank account you're making the payment from, and the date for which you're keying the payment. You can then add a brief description of what the payment is for. Each time you add a new description, Scribe will store this and save for next time. The list is something that can be built up over time so that eventually you can simply select something from the drop-down menu. The same goes for supplier. You will build your list over time, but you can also add new suppliers in as you go if need be. What most councils do during the setup of Scribe is to add a new list of regular suppliers. The same goes for supplier. You will build your list over time, and you can also add new suppliers in as you go if need be. What most councils do during the setup of Scribe is to add a list of regular suppliers at the start. When doing this, Scribe will allow you to add additional details like VAT registration numbers, addresses, etc. Once you've done this, you can then select the related cost centre. A cost centre is your main overhead, and then your cost code would be a further breakdown for this. For me today, stationery comes under a cost centre of office cost. And then, in this particular instance, a cost code of admin expense. Your cost centres and codes will be added during setup. These can be personal to your own council, and it's up to you how you wish for these to be arranged. Most councils I speak to are already using a similar breakdown to this, so it's worth having a look at how things are currently laid out and how you would like them to be managed moving forward. There's also the option to add further notes to be stored against the record and to add a minute reference if you wish. You can see that VAT is typically set at standard. However, if I click here, you'll see that there are various other options available too. Once I've selected the VAT type, all I then need to do is key the net total, and once I've done this, Scribe will automatically calculate the VAT for me. And that is as simple as it is. I can click Add and I'll be taken here to a list of all of the payments that I've made so far for the financial year. The numbers here on the left represent your voucher numbers. They'll always start at 1 at the start of each financial year. Scribe will then automatically generate the number for you each time a new payment is keyed. This means that there's a clear audit trail and that no duplicates can be made. Something else to show you is how easy it is to find previous payments. Using the free text box up here, I can search for a payment using any of the information that I know about it. For example, if I would like to reference last month's phone bill, I know that the supplier for this is BT. Once entered, the results are then filtered to show me any payments relating to this particular phrase. It's then from here that I can choose to edit a payment. I can click the edit option, and Scribe will bring the details up for that particular entry. I can then make any changes that are required and click Save to update the entry. I'll now touch on receipts to show you. However, as you can see, the receipt process is very much the same as adding in payments. Without taking you through, you can see here that you'll still have the option to assign cost centres and codes, which will of course then update your expenditure reports that we'll come to shortly. The next thing I'd like to go through is a bank reconciliation. Banking has its own heading over here, and if we select the Reconcile button, we can complete the process here. All you need to do is to select the bank account you're reconciling and the date that you're reconciling to. So most of the time, this will be the previous month. Once you've done this, Scribe will then bring up a list of all of your uncashed payments and receipts. You would then have a physical copy of the relevant bank statement next to you, and anything that is appearing in Scribe that's also on the bank statement can then be ticked off. If something is in Scribe but not on the bank statement, you don't need to worry. It's likely a delay with processing, as with checks usually are, etc., and will more than likely be picked up in your following month's bank reconciliation. If I click Save, then from here I can see a nice summary of what the balance in Scribe is and what my bank account statement should be, as well as what has been left uncashed. If I click through, I can then get a version of this which I can export and share with my councillors. This is a summary report, however I can also use the filters at the top of the page if I wish to see details for the uncashed payments or receipts too. Following on from Bank Rec, I'll now take a look at VAT with you. For non-VAT registered councils who are claiming VAT back, you can use Form 126. If I go to this page now, all I have to do is use the date filters to select the period of time that I'm claiming VAT for, and it will produce the relevant document stating how much VAT can be claimed for. As this is a demo account, I don't have my VAT registration set up for each supplier, so you'll find that when you produce your own, this section will be populated to produce a more comprehensive version. VAT registered councils will find that instead of Form 126, they will have access to VAT 100, for which they can then select the quarter that they are claiming for, and again Scribe will produce the relevant documents on their behalf. For any councils that are working towards making tax digital, Scribe is HMRC approved and the integration will be available for electronic claims from April 2019. So I'll now take you through some of the various reports you'll be able to produce using Scribe. One of the most popular is the simple summary report that you can produce based on all cost centres. As mentioned earlier, when setting up Scribe, you'll be able to add in cost centres and codes. When creating your cost codes, you'll also be asked to assign a budget for each. Once this is done, then any transactions that are processed will in turn pick up your expenditure. If we take a look at the summary report, you'll see that it provides an overview of the total budget set and expenditure against each category. Scribe works to year to date, so by running the report, you'll be able to see how the budgets are sitting at this particular moment in time. At a glance, you can see whether you are under or overspent in each area and the variances associated. If the council only wish to view expenditure for a particular cost centre, a special project perhaps, you can simply select the relevant cost centre from the list up here, and Scribe will then bring up a more specific report based on the selected category. Another popular report is the detailed cost centre report. This can be based on either payments or receipts and can also be filtered by date. When run, this report shows the individual transactions that have gone out for each of the cost centres as opposed to viewing the actual expenditure as a lump sum as with the summary report that we've just viewed. A popular request from clerks is to have a general payments list that they can produce and take to council for approval. This can be found under our list payments section here, or from the quick action button located here on the home screen. Again, this report can be filtered by date, allowing the clerk to produce a list of payments that were made in the last month, for example. There are 30 different reports you can produce using Scribe, and these will be covered with Hannah during your initial training should you choose to go ahead. Finally, I would like to touch on the year-end process with you. We know that for many clerks, the year-end process can be time-consuming and stressful. Scribe can help with this, and when working in receipts and payments, your annual return can be produced with only a few clicks. Providing that transactions have all been keyed throughout the year and that monthly reconciles have been balancing, then at year-end you can simply click over here to view the annual return. As this is a demo account, you'll find that my accounts are not balancing. However, hopefully yours should, and it will make this process much simpler. Scribe will produce your statement of accounts for the AGAR in a format that is fully compliant with HMRC. You can simply add your data to the corresponding boxes on your form, and you'll even be alerted by an asterisk if an item is changed by more than 15%. This is an instance where additional comments or notes would be warranted. Once you've been using Scribe for a year or more, you'll also find that the first category here is also populated. This alone can save your clerk or RFO hours of time at the end of each year preparing manual accounts.